receptors help them sense chemicals in the environment. And that's how these creatures move about and study their environment. All right, I'm gonna get it now. You ready?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, real slowly here. You're gonna be very gummy. Oh, come here, buddy. All right, yep, tucked all in. There it is. That's a sea lemon, also known as a droid, and it has very warty skin. Sometimes you can find these and they're real bright yellow. That's why they're called sea lemons. And they also have these very distinct little black specklings all over their backs.
Does it smell like a lemon?
Good question. Nope, it smells like a slug. And they are related to slugs and mollusks. And if I turn it up like this, you see the underside there? There's its foot. Pretty cool, huh?
Very lemony looking.
Yeah, it's like a big gummy lemon. Look at that, just like the warty sea cat that we found in Costa Rica, it just kind of turns into a glob when you hold it in your hands. All right, you guys ready to put this sea lemon back under the log?
Let's do it.
Okay, but before we do, I got a quick tongue twister for you. You ready?
All right.
Not all lemons are sea lemons, but all sea lemons live in the sea. Try saying that 10 times fast.
Not all lemons are sea lemons. Yep, yeah, do it.
Yeah, not easy, is it? All right, here we go. Bye, little guy. Right there. Give it a second to grab on. Okay. The sea lemon may not be the most difficult animal to catch. However, finding one is said to be good luck, as they are an indicator species and signal a very healthy ecosystem. This gave me a strong sense of confidence because if the environment is free of pollutants, that means more creatures to find. What? Nothing? I thought that one was gonna yield something amazing. All right, look at this one. This is kind of neat to note. Look at how all of the seaweed has completely matted down and dried up in the sunlight. So underneath this is where an animal would potentially find refuge from the sun once the tide has gone out. Okay. Come on, Lucky Rock.
All of us innovate every day to make it through this weird life as a ghost driving a bag of meat filled with bones on a tiny rock hurtling through space. I can draw something out of my head and then look at it and be like, wow, that's a great idea. Wonder what will happen if I can make the doodad act like a what's it if I twiddle it just right. We are currently in Brooklyn, New York, and we're building a robot. So behind me is my road toolbox. This is everything I need to do my job. Starting off, we have safety glasses. This is a Japanese awl. Bulb duster. We have the smallest electric saw that I could find. This is useful if you have one thing and wish for it to become two things. This is a USB-powered fan. As an artist and as a fabricator, it built things that are weird and wonderful. Perfection is the moving target. The process is really where so much of the value is. This robot is called Tombot. Tombot's a little bit tricky. The kid who ties your shoes together. Our robot is going to very precisely dispense exactly 30 milliliters of the liquid into a waiting vessel. That vessel is going to be robotically transported by means of a robot arm and be slowly poured into the waiting cup.
Come on, Lucky Rock. Whoa! Whoa! Jeez! Look at this. It is a huge prickleback. Wow, that is the biggest one I've ever seen. And this, let me look at its face. I believe this is a rock prickleback, and I can tell that based on the distinct stripe marking right there on the front of its head. Look at that, it's huge. Now, you look at this creature, you're probably thinking to yourself, Coyote, that's an eel, that's not a fish. As a matter of fact, it is a fish. It's not a true eel at all, despite the fact that it really looks like one. Now, it's impossible for me to completely keep this thing still. There we go. Settle down right there. Zoom in there on the head of this animal, Mark.
Okay.
You see those distinct stripes?
I do.
That's how I was able to identify it as a rock prickleback. There are several prickleback species in this area, but this is the largest. And this may look big to you and me. This is the biggest one I've ever caught, but they can grow to be about 3 feet in length.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, Coyote, is it slimy or is it slippery? What's it like?
It's incredibly slimy and slippery. And here's something really cool about these pricklebacks. They can actually breathe air. They breathe underwater with their gills, and then when the tide goes out, they can stay out of the water for several hours breathing air. Now notice that ridge that runs along its back. That dorsal spine, that has little tiny spikes on it. And I can feel that, kind of like the fins of a bluegill. And it's not sharp enough to necessarily prick me, but they use that to help themselves balance when swimming underwater.
So, Coyote, these fish, can they dry out? Because we found them out of water. Like, there's no water under these rocks.
Well, they can't dry completely out. So if it was sitting out on a rock in the sun, that would obviously kill it. But underneath the rock, even if there's no water, they can secrete a mucus from their skin. That keeps them wet and slippery. I do keep dipping it into the water. Here, watch this. So if I just kind of keep its head cupped and dip it in, that allows it to stay cool and moist. And I think at this point, it's probably safe to say we can release this prickleback back off into the ocean. You ready?
Good idea. Let's do it.
Watch it swim out of my hand. There you go, bud.
There he goes.
All right, let's keep searching. With what seemed like an endless supply of smaller rocks to carefully search beneath, we also found ourselves maneuvering over and around massive boulders that were exposed by the low tide. And while these massive rock structures would not be possible to overturn, searching for animals in their crevices was a perfect place to look. Oh, a good shaded spot here. Look, this is still wet and slippery. Oh, look at that right there. See that? That's a chitin. Nope, that's a chitin. It looks like a barnacle or part of the rock. That's actually a mollusk. Hold on a second. I'm going to see if I can gently get it off here. They really suction on the rocks. I got it.
It's coming off?
Yeah. Here we go. There we go. Whoa, look at the underside of that thing. Looks just like the foot of a slug, doesn't it?
So it's not a barnacle?
No, it's not a barnacle. This is a mollusk. They're related to slugs and snails. Now, this is a small species. I'm not sure which species. If you look at the back there, you see all these armor plates that run down the center? Those are called vents. And believe it or not, the largest species of chitin lives in this area, and that's honestly what I'm hoping we come across today. The tide is low enough, it's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time and finding the right series of rocks. All right, I'm gonna place this one right back here in the shade. There we go. All right, let's keep moving. Try to find the giant gumboot.
Gum what?
Gumboot chitin. So far, aside from the prickleback, everything we were finding was rather small. That is until I jumped between two boulders and found myself in the land of giants. A lot of hermit crab. Ooh, what's that? What's a little sea cucumber again? Oh my goodness, look at this!
What?
Oh! Look at the size of that sea star!
Whoa.
And it's purple! What? Have you ever seen a sea star that big before?
No, I've never seen one that purple either. Wow.
That is a first for me.
I think that could be our star.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys,
What?
this is one thing I'd hope we'd find.
Is there a bigger one?
No, look at this. Ah, I got it. Oh, look at that.
What is that?
That's a gumboot.
What's a gumboot?
It's a chitin. It is actually a type of mollusk related to snails and slugs. And I think between the two of these, we have found our featured creatures. All right, actually the tide is starting to come back in at this point. Let's move up a little ways and get these two up close for the cameras. Woo, this is awesome. Woo!
How'd we do?
I would say that was quite possibly the most successful tide pool adventure we have ever had. Now, most of the animal species that we found, we showed you quickly and then we released them right back into the wild. But our two featured creatures, we just had to take some time to get up close for the camera. Now I'm gonna reach into the bucket here. I did bring a bucket just in case we found something that was worth holding on to for a little bit of time.
Because you can see the tide is all in now.
Yeah, the tide is coming back in pretty quickly, so we only have a few minutes with these animals, but if you're ready, let's go for the first one. You set?
Let's see him.
Okay, here we go. This is the largest.
Introducing League of Legends. What is League of Legends, and why do I play it so much?